Welcome to Diary of a Queen. I'm your host, Danielle Martin. I am joined by a very special guest. For some of you that have watched this show for a while, this one looks a little younger than the people that we've had before. It came to mind to me a couple weeks ago that we talked to women from all over the country, all over the world at this point, and we haven't really touched on where we came from. And I think it's a great opportunity to talk with somebody a little younger, slightly younger than we are, so that we can kind of connect with that generation. So I wanted to do a whole segment just based on like a teen talk. So we're joined today by Liliana Funtal from Florida. Lily, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So Lily and I have been connected for a couple months, working on some things to not change Lily, but make Lily even better than she already is. Lily 2.0. So the first thing I want to do is toss out a little disclaimer. Yes, Lily's mother knows that she is on, and parents know that she is on, and we have gotten permission to be able to talk to her. But we just want to kind of touch base and see where the teen mindset is at this point, because let's just say I'm a little out of touch for, being a teen. It's been quite a minute. So we just kind of want to dig into what your life is like and how things are going and the struggles that teens face today and triumphs that you've had. You ready to get started?
Yes, I am.
So Lily is 15. Lily, when will you be 16?
I will be 16 on June 10th.
And we'll be driving. Yes.
Yes.
Do you already have your permit?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm extremely excited. Yeah, it's going to be me.
So I remember that feeling of like, oh my gosh, that freedom is coming, right? How are your parents with you driving? Are they good?
Yeah, my parents are actually very excited for me to be driving because I'm so busy. So they're very excited.
So what does the life of a teenager look like? What is your daily routine? Run us through that.
For me, I wake up, I'm homeschooled, so I wake up and I basically do school, ate some food, and then a little bit goes by and I go to dance. I dance 4 nights a week, so it's a lot. It takes up my schedule. But then on the weekends, I try to chill a little bit and have some free time. And then I do it all over again.
So how long have you been dancing?
Since I was 4 years old.
Wow. What's your dance? Like, what do you do? Are you a tap? Are you a jazz? Are you a hip hop, ballet? What do you do?
I do ballet, jazz, point, tap, contemporary, and performance group. So we go and compete places. But I am not a hip hopper.
Okay, not a hip hopper. Okay. I was a non-hopper in general. Like, I did none of the things. So, and if I probably tried to do them now, I'd be fearful that I would throw my back out. I've seen what you guys do, especially the competition part. So, with competition, that brings up something funny. So you get this great camaraderie, right, with the other girls that are on your team. How do you deal with competing, right? Competing against each other, competing against other girls your own age, your peers. How do you deal with that?
It's definitely a mind game. You have to get in the right mindset of competing for what you want. But you also have to realize that everyone there is amazing. And everyone there has been working for this their whole lives. So it's just, and then we're all a team. So we all go in it together and we all come out together no matter the outcome.
Because at the end of the day, it needs to be fun. We don't want to do
Exactly.
it unless it's fun, right? So, and I mean, of course, I know a little bit of a backstory on you. And for every single person that has been on this podcast, I kind of went through and said, what are some really interesting, cool tidbits about this person that I really find that, and everybody has their own. I could interview a million people because everybody has their own story and something super cool about them. But, kind of cherry pick, like, what are these really neat things? So, of course, I know some things about you personally. Miss Lily is quite the trooper. She's quite a survivor. So talk to me. I don't want to give it away, but talk to everybody about what your life has been like pretty much since you were 3 or 4 years
Mhm.
old.
Yeah. So I used to live in Pennsylvania, and we had these big acres of woods. And we think one day I got a tick bite, and it did fall off. We never got a bullseye rash, which honestly wasn't really happy about because it's an indicator that you do have Lyme's disease or some kind of disease. So in 2018, when the red tide came, because I live in Florida right now, it came in really bad. And one day I just went to bed and didn't get up. And then we discovered that I have Lyme's disease, and I was in bed for months. And then one day we found a treatment that did work, and it got me out of bed, and I went shopping the next day.
So, I mean, this is incredible because you don't think it's not incredible that you had Lyme's disease,
Mm-hmm.
of course, but it's incredible to think because we all think about disease and things as you grow older. You don't necessarily connect it with younger people. It just, I don't know why. It's just not something that you connect with, especially something for such a long time. Did you spend time in the hospital or was it mostly just at home?
It was all at home. I've actually never been to the hospital before.
It's it's not like the greatest place on the earth. Aside from the time when I had children, any other time I've been in the hospital has not really been a joyous occasion. So I'm glad for that. But so after treatment, your life is different, right? Like your life is different than other teenagers. And I'm sure you looked around and were kind of like, why me? Like, why do I have to go through this? Did it play with you mentally? Did you have a hard time connecting with other teens because your life was so different? What did that look like for you?
It did definitely impact me a little bit in that way. Not much. I definitely, after I had Lyme's disease, after I got that all settled and I am in remission, but we found mold in our house.
Okay.
So there wasn't a lot of time to think and look around. Why isn't everyone else going through this? Personally, I know that a lot of people have mold in their house. Um, so it made me feel a little bit better about not being alone in that way. But it definitely did. It didn't really play that much with me, thankfully.
So, I mean, I can imagine if you're not feeling all that great,
Mhm.
you want things to kind of pick you up. Were there things that you did during that time to make you feel better physically, make you feel better mentally,
I danced. It's really what got me out.
made you be physical, helped you, give you a reason to get out of bed?
Yes.
So at the ripe old age of 15, Miss Lily has her own business. And this is crazy. I don't know about anybody else watching. I was a moron at 15. Okay. Like I wasn't having my own business. I wasn't dancing 4 nights a week. I would think the dance might be a little bit more common, but talk to everybody about your business because I think this is so cool that this is something that you do and something that you have a passion for. So talk to me a little bit about that.
So my business is called Pictures of Paradise. I started out taking pictures of nature, and now I'm moving on to more portfolio and those kind of images of people. I go out to the sunset a lot and take pictures for families and seniors. But yeah, it's been a journey. It definitely has.
And so this business that you have, you end up selling the photographs, right?
Yes, I do.
Or the time you people pay for the time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's so incredible to have that kind of vision. Have you always been, that's, I mean, that's an extension of being artistic. Have you always been artistic?
Yeah, I have. Either what if it was with crafts or taking photos, just whatever. It's been
And
yeah.
are there any other artistic things that you do?
I love to paint. Mainly water.
Okay. So what do you paint? What are the types of things that you like to paint?
I love painting sunsets or just water or nature.
Well, you're in Florida, so you're in a great place for it. So, you know, it's interesting when you think about someone that's 15. I'm kind of going down the list, right, of all of the qualities of Lily and all the things that she's done. So, we've danced since we were 4. We're in remission from Lyme's disease. We have a photography business. I hope that you're extraordinarily proud of yourself.
Yes, I am.
You should be. I think that that's incredible because you've gone through some really incredible, very adult things as well. So to be 15, that's amazing. I do want to touch on and talk about some things, difficulties that are facing teens today. And there's a lot of them. But I can go by what I hear on social media, media in general, friends that have children their age. But I want to hear from you. What do you think is something that is really challenging that's facing teens?
I definitely think it's social media.
Okay.
It's the core of everything mainly when I think of it. When I think of people who are going through stuff, it's always because of a phone or social media, or they're too young and they're getting into stuff they shouldn't be.
Mhm.
That's what I think.
So, do you think kids shouldn't be on social media at all, or it's just a certain age when you should be able to deal with it? Do you think they shouldn't be on social media at all?
I definitely think it's a certain age, but I mean, for me personally, I run my business off of social media.
Mhm.
So I kind of had to get on it, and I understand people like that, but you really have to set time, and the government can't set that for you. You kind of have to do it yourself and realize that in your own head.
You have to be responsible for yourself and know when to back off when enough is too much, right? Like you're just done. And I think another thing that is a good piece of advice is if you've gotten in a place on social media to talk about it with
Yeah.
somebody. So if ever, and I mean just in life, not even in just, in social media, we've all been in high school, we've all been 15, and we know that it can be difficult at times. Now we're adding on top of that a social media aspect where life is open 24 hours a day. You can say whatever you want, whether it be true or not. You can see whatever you want, even if your eyes shouldn't see it. So I can see that it is a very difficult aspect. And, as my children are younger and they're not in that social media time frame yet, I hope it will be a while. But if I could give you a piece of advice about social
Mhm.
media, because I get asked about it all the time. I love that you said, I use it for my business. You sounded like such a boss babe when you said that. I love it. I think we find good in things when we search for good. And I think we find bad in things when we search for bad. So, depending on what you're using it for, when other people tell me that they have had altercations, why anybody would fight on social media, I will never know. It seems like the most useless waste of time, but um that those things don't seek me out, and because I don't seek them out, right? So we get kind of what we're looking for. We're surrounded by the things that we put out into the world. And I've looked at your social media and I see the kind of things that you put out there. So I know that you're in a good spot there, but know that in life and on social media, if you are ever in a place where you feel uncomfortable, or there's something that just isn't right, that you have a place that you can go to and that you can talk to somebody about that. So at the end of every podcast, I always like my guests to give one piece of advice. And I think this is super special because I know your advice is going to be so targeted towards another teen. And for any of the teens that are going to be watching, they can look at Miss Lily. I want two things for anybody that's watching that's a teen or a parent that is showing this to their teen. You're hearing of all of these accolades. Lily's done all these great and wonderful things in her life. First, I want you to know you can do it too. Anything you put your mind to, you can do. Lily is a great and wonderful person, but so are you. And you can do all those wonderful things too. And we'll have ways for you to be able to connect with myself and I'll be able to funnel those through to Lily if you have any questions or anything for her. But I'm excited about this piece of advice because I know that other teens are going to be able to connect with it. So, Lily, if you had a piece of advice that you could give anybody that's watching, what would your piece of advice be?
I would say don't let someone else's successes and failures determine yours.
That is a very wise and beyond your years type of thing because we can do anything we put our mind to, right?
Yeah.
And I know that great and wonderful and blessed things are going to come your way. Thank you very much for being on. I'm excited to make this a regular thing on the show where teens have an opportunity to be able to connect with other teens. So, this is our first time doing that, and I'm so happy that it was you that got to do it. So, Lily, thank you very much. For anybody that's watching, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, you're going to find out that there's going to be all kinds of guests from all over the country. And now we're even including young women as well. And be sure to like this video so that we know that you like it and we can continue to put out that type of content. So with that being said, Miss Lily, thank you so much. I cannot wait to see where life takes you. I know it's going to be incredible. So thank you for being on. And this has been Diary of a Queen.